Today's episode of Mob Rules brought to you by everyone in the same room again for the first time in 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yay.
Ooh, and we're all drinking again in celebration.
I gotta warn you. I did drink a giant sugar-free Red Bull on the drive over.
Ooh. There we go.
Yeah.
Pull that out again there.
Now my mic smells like White Claw.
My mic smells like White Claw. All of them.
My mic smells like cum.
Well, Dave,
Well,
I have a story to tell you about that microphone.
that's what happens when you let your mom use the tools.
You'll never guess what we recorded.
The queef sounds.
Who was the sound out? Who was the mic boom operator that kept hitting the mic?
Yeah.
Just right down there.
Someone. Hey, welcome to Mob Rules. A competitive podcast with a comedy problem.
Yeah.
I am John, joined as always by
Dave.
And Danny.
and all in the same room.
I know, it's amazing.
I don't think you can say joined as always because
It's a Christmas miracle.
I was out with
It is.
injury. Then Danny was
You slept
traveling.
in bed and you had a sore back. Let's
No,
not
that was-
call it what it is.
No, that was a tournament a tournament miss.
Oh, okay.
No, the one that started me missing an episode was just work just killed me. I was like, I moved 1,000 boxes today. We usually
Dave,
move
of course,
200.
working in a pillow shipping factory.
Yeah, you try moving 1,000 pillows. All right.
I won't.
No, because that would really confuse my boss.
Would it though?
Yeah, well,
Yeah, probably.
maybe.
Probably.
You get away with a lot, I got to say. But yeah, we're all back in the same place after Dave's work literally tried to kill him, and Danny's wife dragged him to the lush tropical paradise of Hawaii.
Yeah.
Man, it's a rough time for both you guys
Just
there. I
awful.
don't know who had it worse.
I think it was Danny.
I know there was a
Probably.
time
He
I
got
was
sunburned.
I was
didn't
sitting
get that.
at work, like just stressed off my balls about all the stuff I had to do. And all I get in a group chat is two different people telling me they're going to two different zoos. And I'm like, you sons of bitches, what the hell? I want to go to a zoo, but then I remember the Alaska Zoo is not great.
No, it's not that good.
No.
I mean, it's not bad, oddly enough.
No, it's not the worst zoo I've ever been to.
Way worse zoos than the Alaska Zoo.
I got about 5 feet from a white tiger at the zoo I went to.
Ooh.
That was
You
pretty
And
cool.
did they ask you to leave the enclosure?
Yeah, they said, "Sir, you need to get out."
almost-
They ended up shooting the tiger, but I got some really good pictures.
You were hoping it would be the next big meme.
You almost got a white cloud of the face.
Yeah, literally.
Man, yeah, it's your spirit animal there. But in our time away, Dave and I played in a tournament. Danny shocked the world at Charity Hammer by not sucking ass.
Yep.
But also kind of thank you for almost filling my bracket. I got that side of the board pretty quick.
Yeah?
Pretty good.
Nice.
Down. Not the other side, though.
You fucked
Colin
mine
really
up.
fucked mine up.
Yeah.
Colin's the bracket that had Colin in it. I actually had Colin all the way.
Nice.
However,
Man.
I had you versus Colin and you beating Colin. So
You were one game off then, Dave.
Yeah.
yeah,
Pretty much.
pretty much.
But Dave, why don't we start with you? You played in an RTT.
I did. I can't remember where I placed
Rogue
in it.
Trader Tournament.
The Rogue Trader Tournament.
You went 2-1.
Oh right.
Oh,
yeah, I went
yeah.
2-1 and took.
You tried submarining by letting Rob make you his bitch.
That's exactly it. Great story. Great story. And by great story, I mean terrible story. So I brought like a
White
literal.
Claw and babies for a soundboard here.
Oh no.
We need that.
We need this.
It's not 21 though, John. You could go to prison for that.
Ooh.
It's a risk I'm willing to take.
It's a risk you and I are willing to take, Danny.
Going to prison?
No, for sending John to prison.
Yes.
Oh, right. Yeah, absolutely. I'm willing to
I'm
take
calling
that
Child
risk
Protective Services
every
for
time.
baby for soundboard right
as
now.
John realizes he's legally the only name on Mob Rules. Aw.
So I drew.
We win again, Dave.
Yeah.
Yeah. Unlike this tournament. So why don't you tell us about it?
All right. So.
Just to preface this, Danny, this was the one Dave was going to win because you
Oh,
weren't
did he
there.
say that?
Yes.
Oh yeah,
Ooh,
said it
bad
like
move.
multiple times.
Multiple times.
Multiple times.
You know our Dave. Humility is his best feature.
Yes. Completely.
Is that absolutely? He is so humble it hurts sometimes.
So I brought a counter infantry type list. That's my LVO list. It's got a little bit of counter punch in 2 Redemptors and a Chaplain Dreadnought to be able to deal with threats that charge me.
Mm-hmm.
I had a plan that I wrote down on a piece of paper of what my deployment was going to be, no matter what the zone looked like or the buildings or anything like that. And in the first game, immediately did not do that.
Okay.
So we had a building that had 3 sides, ruined building with a second, with a top, kind of not a top, but a walkway on it.
Mm-hmm.
So I deployed all of my stuff properly. I have 3 Thunderfires against the front wall so that if he charges me, he can only hit 1 or 2 Thunderfire cannons. He can't hit anything else. Tech Marines behind him. Relic Whirlwind Scorpius inside the back side of the ruins. Turned Whirlwinds, 2 of my 3 Whirlwinds, so that they were actually silhouetted. So if he tried to shoot them from across, he can only see 1 because the other one was exactly mirrored behind it. So they were facing against it, perpendicular to the wall. Rob Ravengar did his deployment and stuff like that, and I thought I was golden. He did his he seized first off, which really fucked me, and then he did his Ravenguard special redeploy to move a Smash Captain, and noticed that I had left exactly a Smash Captain base-sized hole in the middle of that, which he could get to by leaping up onto the walkway and charging straight down into the middle of my crap.
Yep.
Yeah. So needless to say, I spent the entire game going, well, that nothing will shoot, I guess, as it all just moves away. He killed the Relic Scorpius in the first turn and just kind of did some silly stuff. And I ended up losing pretty badly. But I took that lesson and did not leave a single gap in my next 2 games, much to the chagrin of the next 2 people I played.
Nice.
I played Greg next.
Yep.
Space Wolves. Unfortunately for Greg, he wasn't feeling good.
Yeah.
The game was over turn 3. I had him tabled. And then there was the final game was against Phil playing Sisters. And he could have done better than he did, but he had this idea in his head of what he wanted to do, and he stuck to it. So kudos to him. But with New Sisters getting -2 with the banner, ignoring -2 AP, and all of my stuff being -2 AP with the exception of the Relic Scorpius, I had him tabled by turn 4. With these,
was he still running a lot of mechanized stuff?
No. He had mostly Sisters.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and he put them in a big ball in the middle and marched them up the field.
Did he get into cover?
No, he put them in a big ball
mistake.
and marched them up the field.
Well, yeah, but like if you march them up the field, you can put them into cover as you move.
This particular table had nothing in the middle. It was like a straight line across. We got Dawn of War, so I deployed directly in the center, surrounding a building, just so that nothing could charge me. So when he brought in a Seraphim, I didn't have to worry about it touching more than anything else. And I used the repulsors like I wanted to as screens. So he just marched his Sisters up the field into withering Thunderfire, Whirlwind shots. Now, it ignores the AP on that, but you're still going to roll 1s. So,
yeah, well, sure, eventually.
I mean, not you. I've seen your dice. You don't roll 1s.
No, I roll 1s. I roll plenty of 1s.
Just
and I re-roll them because I play Iron Hands.
Morale tests. Yeah, he rolls lots of 1s.
So I've got a Master of the Forge, and so I was re-rolling 1s as well. Everybody was hitting on 2s or better. So, yeah, it was pretty solid. If I hadn't made that error against Rob, it would have been a completely different game, and he knows it. So I like my list. I've been painting the crap out of it. It's all 3 colors. The only thing that is only 3 colors at this point are the 2 new Thunderfire cannons. Everything else is at least 5 colors.
Cool.
So I've been cranking through that.
You ended that tournament 8th out of 19 with a 2 record.
That was a lot of people.
Huge tournament for that.
Yeah, it's a really good turnout for that one.
It was.
We haven't had a good tournament in a little bit here, so it was good to see.
It was nice to see
people.
Yeah. So I'm okay with the way that I placed out in that one. I made a mistake. I knew it. I used it to learn from, and destroyed the next 2 people. So
nice. Well, from lowest scoring person with a winning record in Dave, we can transition here to highest scoring person with a losing record in me. So I took my list for the Chaos one I've been playing recently. I ended up going 1 and 2. Marines got a Marine. And there was a couple of really tough matchups, but I think I took a lot of good stuff away from it. My first matchup was against an Imperial Fist list that was kind of spec'd to be anti-vehicle.
Sure. That's going to be a bad time.
So that's a bad time. But so I lost that game.
Who was playing that?
Bullets.
Oh, okay, sure.
I lost that game, but I lost that game 30-21. So I think like that's super high scoring. That tells me I picked the right secondaries. It tells me a lot of stuff that my list can do. And if that's my score against like a hard counter Marine list with like Deradeos and like Centurions and aggressors, like and everything like that there, that's really good for me. I also learned that game. I think Butcher's Bill was one of my favorite secondaries for my army.
It's really good.
Weird.
Well, I've never really taken it.
Did you take it on Nurglings?
No, that would be Gangbusters.
Oh, right. Sorry, Butcher's Bill.
Yeah. But Butcher's Bill for my list, where I can reliably kill a couple things a turn, is really easy points for me. I found like all 3 of my games, I was actually holding back on killing more some turns. Yeah. Just where like if I'm ahead anyway, I want to save that so next turn I can score Butchers again.
Yeah, that's
especially if it's non-threatening.
I took Butchers against everything, every game that I played, and I would do that. Like I would soften up a unit in preparation to be able to make sure I could kill it next turn. So I actually really like Butcher's Bill quite a bit.
So yeah, game 1 I lost 30-21 against Imperial Fistless. Game 2 I was up against Matt Morse, who's great, and I don't play Matt nearly enough. He had an Iron Hands list that was just fucking awful. Triple flyer. The Leviathan Dreadnought in the back corner. Luckily, I know enough to kind of just ignore that as much as possible, because Ironstone, Leviathan. I was like, cool. Well, I'm going to go this side of the table here, away from that. But that doesn't matter when you have the 3 planes flying around, hitting on 2s, re-rolling 1s, and kind of doing all kinds of crazy stuff like that. That one I lost 30-14, which is still. To me, a really good score, which again is kind of going to like secondary choices and movement and things like that there. And then game 3, I played against Cody, who does all of our graphics.
Oh, yeah.
And art things and his Tyrannid list.
The 4th member of Mob Rules.
Yeah. The 4th member here, our silent, our Yoko Ono, if you will.
The cod piece.
Oh, right. That's right.
Yeah.
So that one I ended up winning 38-10. And mainly, and we talked a lot about that kind of after the game. Cody has like a lot of big, like he has like a big core of shooty bugs in the back corner, and then like a distraction Carnifex kind of ball that moves up front. The problem being kind of my Monster Mash Chaos list doesn't really care about Carnifexes because it can get through them pretty easily. And I focus fire down that flying Hive Tower right away, just again from playing Tyrannids. I don't want that loose anywhere near my guys.
Sure.
Yeah.
And then because he didn't have any screens around his Exocrines and his things, I just kind of touched them with a Helldrake.
Yeah.
And like, it's like, cool, you can't shoot. And you're okay in combat, but you're not great.
Yeah. A lot less good than you are at shooting.
Yeah, exactly. So like I was able to kind of keep everything in his in combat for a long time. But yeah, after this, I finished 9th. Out of 19th, which I attribute to kind of like my really high scoring losses. Like I said, I outscored every other like 1-2 record person.
Y'all were like middle of the pack, exactly.
Oh hell yeah, that's where I live. That's where I breathe. Is the middle.
Top 50%. 50%.
I'm sorry, rounding says you're wrong. As you round up. But yeah, so after that tournament, I made some changes. So I did have a Outrider detachment, which had a couple squads of bikes in it and a spawn. They really didn't do much. They did some.
Sure.
Like the Meltaguns, like so each bike squad had 2 Meltaguns. So I had 4 Meltaguns in that squad. And they got me Gangbusters points against Centurions. Because
nice.
That's really good. Like Centurions against Meltaguns are not a great
matchup. Who
matchup.
had Centurions?
The Imperial Fist player, Brian.
Oh, right. Okay.
So that was, they were helpful there, but most other stuff they were used to quickly sit and tag something and keep them in combat.
Sure.
Right.
So I switched those out for Terminators.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So kind of I finalized my LVO list now. It's submitted. I took out that Outrider detachment. I added a Chaos Lord with a jump pack and 7 Combi Plasma Terminators. which I think are going to do way more work for me than a couple bike squads.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how that turns out. So yeah, this week I painted and assembled seven Chaos Terminators and a Jump Pack Lord, which was a fun conversion to do because I literally went into my bits box and cut up 4 models and kind of put it together.
Nice.
Which is always nice when you have enough shit in your private stash that you can just, oh look, I made a Chaos Lord with a Jump Pack and a Power Fist, like just because.
You look cool too.
Yeah,
I like the model. That
I was a
you
huge fan of you laboring through whether or not you were going to take the Jump Pack Chaos Lord or not. You're like, should I do this or should I do this? What should we do? And Danny and I were both too busy to respond to you. And by the time we did, we were like, well, I don't know. We think the Jump Pack Lord. Danny, what do you think? Jump Pack Lord? Probably. And you were like, too late. I've already built a Jump Pack Lord. It doesn't even matter anymore.
Yeah, it doesn't even matter because, like, honestly, like when I'm theorying it, I'm like, I'm sitting and I'm laboring. It's like, is this good? Is this bad? What should I do? And then I made this really fucking cool model, and I'm like, no, I'm taking this. I don't even care if it's good or not. And I think he looks really rad. He's super good. He uses the Kranen model from the Dark Vengeance box set.
But he's a cool model too.
And yeah, I just like the idea of a jump pack with capes. I did some more purchases as well. I bought 10 Raptors to build as Warp Talons for kind of post LVO fun time.
I love Warp Talons so much. Just the idea of them. And it harkens back to 2nd edition and 3rd edition when Lightning Claws were plus X strength, ignore saving throws, and just slaughtered people. And now they're just they're all right.
Yeah, I just like the idea of like screamy like Chaos Boys jumping down and going like Ree! So hard that you can't shoot at them because they're so damn annoying. So especially like all my armies tend to be assault focused, so I need to get something to kind of finish that up there. Yeah, assault more.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've started painting I'm down to my last 13 cultists and my Warpsmith, and that's all I have left to paint for LVO. And I said earlier in our Discord chat for Mob Rules, I really shouldn't have saved basic troops choices for last because I've spent months painting amazing demon engines, great Terminators, doing all this cool conversion work. Now I have fucking cultists.
Yeah, that's fair.
So you should just be doing what I'm doing and take no troops to LVO.
But I got all my squad marks pinned up, so they have 3 different colors of squad marks on there.
Cool.
So they're good to go. We have 2 tournaments coming up this weekend.
I know.
So excited.
I think I'm making a double header this week.
I think I'm going to make a double header too.
Hell yeah.
Because
Awesome.
I need to know if I'm going to be able to stand the next day because that's basically what LVO is going to do for me.
You won't. But that's really all I've been up to. Danny, we would come and ask you what you've been up to, but that is a wonderful and longer story for a different segment.
And also nobody cares.
Good.
Yeah.
They were telling us that specifically earlier.
Specifically
told
us
that's fair.
No one cares.
In the Discord.
So we're going to go ahead and take a break right now. And when we come back, Danny's going to share some behind the scenes information from Hawaii, and definitely not Charity Hammer.
Right.
You've mastered the art of the Stanley. You've downloaded the ITC Battles app. You've loaded your dice to guarantee your charge. Now perfect your game with Mob Rules measuring accessories. Made of the finest acrylic and carrying the skill of the Danny, the tactics of the Dave, and something positive about John. Get yours now at hammerheadgames.net. Because I'm lower 50%. That's the something positive there.
Positive.
Oh, I bought wound markers from Hammerhead as well.
Nice. With the Mob Rules logo on them?
No, he didn't get back to me on those about those in time. So they're just the classic purple acrylic to match the rest of my stuff.
I kind of really have grown to like Magic the Gathering health dice because they count downwards. You can the D20s that you can just spin around.
The spin down dice?
Yeah.
You know what's nice about dials? You just spin it a little, and that's how you lose wounds.
I mean, I've already invested at least $7 in.
$7? What?
We're not even recording right now.
Did you tell your wife?
No, that's a
Did
secret.
you get that pre-approved?
I brought him in the house after I sent you all the Charity Hammer stuff.
Oh, I see.
Oh,
Okay.
clever. Hey, what a great segue, though, Dave.
Yes.
Speaking of
Charity Hammer, our very own Danny was invited to go down and take part in this epic 3-day event.
Yeah. Well, it was slightly more, but that's only because I came down early.
Yeah. So, like Dave, Danny came early.
Oh,
Oh, and like Danny, man, I'll
I
tell
was
you
like,
what.
I was like, hold on.
Gotta get that
got
shit
yours.
done.
Hold
Yeah,
on.
That's right.
There's a lot of things that I can be accused of. That is not one of them.
Maintaining an erection is not one.
Yes.
Getting to places on time is not one of them.
So we got 4 minutes late.
So you went down through some Warhammer personalities,
Yeah, quote unquote celebrities.
quote unquote
So
celebrities,
right,
quote unquote content creators.
That's right. We'll do that. Content creators is pretty
I mean
good.
that's pretty accurate.
That's accurate.
Yeah.
Like all those guys do
pretty
content in
loose.
some way or another, right?
Yeah.
Mostly.
Yeah. Okay. I'll give you that. Sure.
I mean, not enough that we're going to waste time to sit and think of those who don't. Falcon.
Ouch.
Yeah. He just reads off a spreadsheet. That's not content.
No, what do you mean, dude? They script a lot of that stuff. No, that's
They-
not true. They totally ad lib stuff.
they
Yeah.
have to
Well,
script it.
they do script a decent amount, though.
You can tell the scripted stuff. It's not good.
That's why you can tell we're great because none of this is
yes,
scripted.
exactly. That's why we're the best. We don't script.
We
anything.
don't edit anything. We just throw it up like all over the internet.
We throw it up like a college girl drinking White Claw,
There you go. I was gonna say Franzia, but that I like what you
like
did
a high schooler drinking Mad Dog 2020.
Ooh, man, that
Man,
is
that takes me back.
accurate to my life. All right, so, so I got down to Charity Hammer a little bit early. I got to meet some people. It was super cool. Nick Nanavati thought I was Chuck, and
I
gave
paid
me a
$50
big
for
hug.
that story.
Yeah, that was.
Let me tell you, if I can get that $50 back.
Yeah, anytime if you want to reimburse me on that.
So he sits down. He's like, "Oh, I've got a
shit.
great story about meeting Danny." I was like,
Dave, you paid
Shit.
for this and you're trying to give it away for free?
I mean, nobody.
Spread the disappointment to the
Can't
next
give it away
person.
for free.
Yeah, this is one of those things that I feel like everybody that's going to listen to this will feel like they paid for it by just listening.
Oh, I'm feeling
I'm glad that you guys donated. That's really cool. Thank you.
So I donated $50.
Thanks for donating all our Patreon money too.
It was only
appreciate that.
it was only 50 bucks of it. We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
We'll get to
Okay.
that. So the Nanavati story. Nanavati is drunk on White Claw.
Oh yeah.
Which, by the way,
he
first
drank
off,
a lot of White Claw this weekend, guys.
So he's like, I got a great story about meeting Danny. I was like, shoot, I got to hear this story. I'd love to know what it is. All right, here's my money. And he goes, so I walk in and I see a big guy and I go, hey, Chuck's here. And I run up and I hug him and I go, hey, Chuck. And then I walk away and it was Danny because then I saw Chuck standing in a different corner and I was like, that's a terrible story.
He did
story's
this
coming from the other Chuck.
he did a double take when he saw Chuck and he was like, what is going on? I'm like, yeah, hey, I'm Danny, by the way. That I'm not Chuck. He goes, oh, I called you Chuck. And I'm like, I didn't even hear you say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's that story. So I got to play a bunch of really cool people, like some of the top people in the ITC, which was super awesome, and get some super high quality games.
I would like to say that you smoked some super awesome people, actually.
I did well. Like obviously the game against like some of the quote unquote internet celebrities or whatever, the content creators that I played were really fun. Like I played Chuck, which was a super fun game, and actually it wasn't like not close. Like he did really good. He did a really good job of getting points at the end of the game.
So Chuck was running Chaos, right?
He was running the Possess Bomb with Warp Talons and
Were they his conversions that he's working on? Chuck is one of the hosts of
the Best in Faction
Faction
podcast.
Faction
Yep.
podcast, and from what I can tell, just a genuinely really nice guy.
He is one of like that game was so much fun. Like and that was the last game I played over the weekend. And one of the last games they aired.
Yeah.
So, but like getting to play against him was super awesome. He has a super dry sense of humor, which was very well received. We made like these pithy, sarcastic comments the entire game about how easy my army was to play, which is fair. And then let's see who else I played against. Darren from Can Hammer.
So your first game was against Darren, right?
No, my very first game was against Peter.
Oh, your first game was the podcast Comedic Relief.
Correct.
Game? All right. So let's start.
Well, technically, I had a practice game on Thursday night. Like
Cheating prostitute.
yeah, I am.
Who did you practice against?
I played Mark Perry, who's a Chaos player. He's really good. He's one of the 3 guys that is professional now. That's semi-professional.
Nice.
They're sponsored by Obey Alliance.
I mean, first off, the first professional team is Snake-based Pro.
Right. That is correct.
That doesn't technically come into existence for another 2 months.
Oh no.
Or
Well, we're
January.
officially unofficial, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Okay. So you played a game against Mark Perry.
Hey, he really
not related to Steve Perry.
No, I really wish I could have made some
What about
basketball
Jack
jokes.
Perry?
Just sit there as he's
Steve
moving models.
Perry.
Just Steve Perry. Steve Perry.
But he totally whooped my ass. I was playing my Iron Hands kind of brigade list that I made, which is a really good list, and I would like to play it more. I don't have the practice with it to bring it to LVO. Like I haven't played it in and out, backwards, forwards.
It's not your Charity Hammer Hardest RTT list that you brought. It's the list
Which
you
is
brought down.
which is the list I also just ended up playing all of my games this weekend with was my Vegas list.
Yeah.
So
way to broadcast your Vegas list to people as you smoked everybody.
that's fine, whatever.
You know, to me, that's the most hilarious thing is the people who are hiding their list for Vegas. I can understand maybe like 3 or 4 people who want to keep it hidden, like the ones in with a real shot in it. But the ones I don't get is like Bob Jones from Nebraska is trying to hide his Iron Hands Legion list until the very last moment because everyone's going to copy him. I'm like, bitch, I ain't going to go through 1,000 lists to see if I counter Tim Horton.
Tim from Fairbanks. Unbeknownst guy named Tim from Fairbanks who doesn't want anybody to know what he's bringing.
It's 3 Lords of Skulls. It's not new.
I mean,
it's just on Houston's list.
You think so?
Anyway,
yes.
Okay, well, let's start at the chronological beginning, right?
All right.
So I played against Mark, super awesome guy. He's the biggest, hairiest, loudest, most awesome person I met in a while.
Bastard. That should be me.
No.
Well, you're going to have to up your game, man.
Yeah. Gonna start eating meat again.
Dude, when we went to Outback Steakhouse, he literally ordered a pitcher of water for himself. He said, just bring me a pitcher of water and leave it here at the table for me because I'm going to drink the entire thing. And I'm like, okay, that's pretty cool. I wonder if he's just going to like pour himself a glass. No. He took a pewter pitcher and just drank from it. Like, what a champion.
Did anybody at the table go, that guy fucks?
Yeah. I mean, I did in my head.
That guy's hydrated.
Yeah, he's so hydrated that he's going to pee so much later.
Ooh, girl.
So Friday night, midnight is my first game. Like, I've been up all day. And my game is against Peter. Now, to preface this, like, we had talked about this game, kind of hyped it up quite a bit.
More than anybody
with our
else.
Feud.
By
Right.
a lot.
Well, and like, everybody was excited to see it. Everybody there was excited to like see it and like participate and everything. Like, people were coming in and watching the game as the game went on and that kind of thing, which was super fun.
Yeah.
So we talk about armies, we set stuff up, and well, first, Peter, I give Peter his present. So we had the idea. I think it was it John? Did you have the idea? Yeah. Okay. Cool. It was a great idea.
Yeah.
To buy him or to to sponsor a Falcon in his name. And so we were going to do it. We did it as a little bit of shit talking, and I tried to make it work, but he was too excited about the fact that he was, that I
bought him a Falcon.
I bought him a Falcon essentially that he just came over and gave me a giant hug, right? Like,
it was really awkward.
Yeah.
No, it was cool.
No, for those of us watching, it was really awkward.
It wasn't too bad, but the
You
whole,
lingered
the
together
whole,
too long.
The whole,
Oh no, we rubbed beards. I don't know if you saw that part.
Yeah, unfortunately we did.
Okay.
Yeah. The whole bit was that because Danny was going to murder this guy so completely,
Right.
then to balance out the karma, we adopted
Well, to
a
make
Falcon.
sure one Falcon's family was
Yeah.
taken care of over the
Right.
holidays.
Yeah.
So, which is good because you don't want to be screwing over Falcon families.
No, that's bad karma. But yeah, I think he was legitimately
Falcon has kids, Dave.
he was legitimately so excited that we bought him a Falcon.
He ruined the joke by being awesome with it.
He was too cool, right?
Asshole.
So our first game was about 5 minutes long because he
Oh
charged.
no, we're aware.
Okay, yeah, he charged his death company at my Centurions, and they overwatched him, and they did a lot of damage.
It was brutal.
Yeah. I think I killed 12 out of the 12 out of the 15 in Overwatch. There were 3 left.
Yeah, it was pretty brutal.
It was disgusting. So to let anybody know, we have a Patreon. And in this particular time, we were told that the chat should remain PG-13 so that the stream could be on the front page. So we took all of the dirty people into the Mob Rules voice chat and had the best time.
So to preface this, Dave and I were so hyped for this game because for all of the things leading up to it, we were very anti-Falcon, very pro-Danny.
I took a nap. I took a nap to
We
be
took
awake
a nap so we could be awake
I'm
for
really
this game.
proud of you.
Yeah.
But we classic bait and switch. At the end of the day, we ended up being very pro-Falcon, anti-Danny.
Right.
So
Yeah,
we
which
see
is actually what happened.
we
the
see
best.
Falcon's list, and then we see Danny. I'm like, wait, is that just Danny's SoulCal list? He went like 5-1 with. So we're like, wait, no, this cannot. We can't
Nope.
do this. So then we're like, how much for them to switch armies?
And you lowballed us, which was weird.
Yeah, they're like, $50. So we're done. And then we spent $50.
I was, as soon as I said it, I was like, oh, I should have asked for more.
They would do that.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
no.
know. I know that you would do
so
that.
we instantly did it.
Yeah.
And then, like, afterwards, we're like, yeah, this doesn't take into account until post-deployment. So just to kind of, like, give it everything it needed.
So the best part for me was that the only way to verify a donation to pay for something was to make Colin get out of bed and read his phone.
Because the donation note was for Danny and Falcon to switch armies. And then we see
Right.
on stream Colin coming in being like, well, what the fuck is this about? And then
He stumbles in like a dad who's just his kids are up too late playing D&D,
Which
and
is
they
accurate.
just slaughtered
Yeah.
the Lich. You know,
little daddy Colin came in and be like, guys, you got a 3-hour limit. It's been an hour already. You're not even deployed. And that's when me and Dave were like, well, we should probably back off a little, let them actually play the game.
So I donated $50 back to counterman their order.
$100 well spent.
Yep,
$100
it was good.
Because it was for the
spent.
kids.
Right.
Charity.
100%.
Yeah. So you started playing.
So we spent about 5 minutes on the first game, then re-racked and played another game.
Yeah. And the second game was actually super good.
It was
was.
good. It was good. It was a lot of good back and
It was
forth.
a lot of fun to watch.
He killed all 3 of my planes in one turn, which was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, the only
did
other
it.
person that did that was Nick Notabody, and I don't know that he actually did.
No, Chuck actually killed all my planes in one turn as well.
I didn't watch that game, I'll be
Oh,
honest.
okay. That's fair.
That's
Yeah.
fair. That's fair.
I couldn't handle any more 40K streaming that
It
weekend.
was a lot of dude. It was a lot of 40K in general.
But it ended with a win for you on that one.
It did. It did. So I won that game.
So you destroyed Falcon twice.
Yeah.
So do we owe him another Falcon?
No.
we don't know him shit.
No.
Oh, all right. Is there
Maybe-
something
But-
we can? Is there anything we can get for Val as like a present? You know, because he has to work with such a piece of crap.
Oh,
who's
we should
bad at
probably
40K.
bring him something.
Maybe
yeah.
some gloves so he doesn't have to touch
Like
that
a-
piece of shit.
Oh, let's buy Falcon or gloves.
Dude, yeah.
Oh my God.
All right, we
Oh,
got
thank
to
Christ no one listens to this
Oh
podcast.
God. Well, at least they
Actually,
don't.
they both do. So
Damn it.
Oh, damn it.
Oh man,
So they're the third and fourth and fifth listener after our
that
moms.
would explain why they weren't listening while Danny was in Hawaii.
That's fair. So yeah, while we search on Amazon
Oh
here
my
for
God.
Falcon or gloves.
Oh, good idea.
Yeah, that's great.
And this is a White Claw inspired idea if I've ever heard of one.
Immediately after the game with Falcon, you went on to another stream to play
yeah.
another game against Darren from Canhammer, right?
no,
that was a
I
little
ended up
next morning.
hosting another game that night.
Oh,
Yeah, because we went to bed, John,
we did.
after your earbud died.
my earbud died, and also
Did I play Darren right after?
I think you were the 3 a.m. to 6
I
a.m.
did. I played
Yeah.
Darren
I mean,
right
there's a
after
way
that.
we could actually check.
My
There is a-
baby
look at
started
the
screaming
schedule.
at the end of the
well,
game.
the timeline actually that is still visible
No.
for anybody that wants to see it.
I know
is
exactly
still
what
alive.
I did not host a game then. I ended up playing Darren right after that. And so Darren from Canhammer, which is he's
Are you sure it was right after? Because
Yeah, it was right
I remember
after.
watching that game, and I don't remember being up till freaking 5 a.m. on Saturday morning.
yeah. Well, we didn't play the whole thing out all the way
Okay,
because it was like
5 a.m.
no. Well, yeah. I think we ended up with an extra hour or so.
Yeah.
But Darren did a really great job of narrating all of his thoughts, like so that
Dude, Darren
other
was
people could
great.
take. He was awesome. He's so like first of all, I am bad at interacting with the community in like a verbal way, like comparatively to some of these other guys. They did a good job.
Great job there, podcast co-host.
Yeah. Like I am good at person-to-person contact. I don't know that I'm like a really great showman though all the time.
That's what your wife says. Yeah.
True. I'm not showy there. Let me tell you.
He's gooey though.
Yes, I am.
Wait. Sorry, gooey. The
Gooey.
word is
Yeah, that's
gooey.
better. Moist. So
I'm gonna grab another beer.
So playing Darren, super. First of all, what a great guy! Like every single person that I met this weekend was awesome. Like let me just say that. Like everybody was so cool.
Can I
like
say
so
that
much cooler than I thought they would be.
I was not expecting Darren to look like he did.
Oh,
I don't
really?
know what in my head Darren from Can Hammer looked like, but that was not it.
Oh, okay.
I was not expecting a tiny Bruce Lee guy. All right.
2020, Dave. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, dude.
What's wrong with Bruce Lee? My grandma used to call him.
Wow. All right.
Wow.
Man, dude.
Wow.
Sorry, Darren.
You know, like, look, guys. Like, just remember, Dave was raised in a different era,
Yep.
and his values were
Paleolithic.
different. Right.
He's so young that these just ironic.
Oh, I
jokes
refuse to
go
accept
over
your
our
young
head.
joke for 2020. That's not happening. I'm still old.
Jesus, man,
Dave sure didn't know him.
doesn't get
Only
our
in his heart.
Doesn't get our sense of humor because we're just too old.
Well, I
for
know.
him.
Like, yeah, our old tired jokes just don't get him anymore. Anyway, so playing Darren play Custodes. It was a game. Like I felt bad for him. Like I don't think Custodes have a good matchup against.
Do you
my
mean
army.
an elite Space Marine list, which hits on twos, re-rolling one with high strength attacks that have like -2, are really like good?
Yeah, it turns out they're
Turns
really
out
good.
really good against a small elite army that's basically completely reliant on safes.
Yep, pretty much.
Oh Jesus, Dave! Not on the board again.
Dude, it's gonna take you a month to wash that out.
Yeah, it is terrible.
I'm getting drunk.
No, you're not.
No, you're not.
So yeah, it was a pretty brutal short game, but it's not like I think he did everything that he could to play it right, with maybe a couple of exceptions. Maybe even then, like
For the most
it
part,
was going to be rough.
watching the game, like his play, it was very hard to see him actually make any mistakes. It was just it was an uphill battle for him from the start.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
Yeah, the mistake was playing Custodes.
Well,
against
and
Marines.
he didn't. I don't think he's played against the Stormhawks before, because when
Oh.
I told him it was an extra -1 because his vehicles all had fly to shoot them, he was like, "Oh, okay."
Oh, so he
That was like my reaction to the
it was like
RTT when I found out I was playing Marines.
that's like an anti-Danny the way you did that.
Oh yeah, we made a bet in the Discord chat about how many times you'd say.
Oh, that reminds me.
Oh,
Yeah. How many times you would Danny the Falcon?
Yeah.
It was 3 if memory serves.
Yeah.
no, I never would do that to him.
No, you do it unconsciously. Oh, okay.
Maybe I just say "Oh, okay" a lot.
You do.
It's your trademark where you kind of laugh and go, oh, okay. Which, by the way, coming soon to
coming soon to a T-shirt near you.
Okay.
Speaking of which, I need a skeptical Danny face picture.
Yeah, I think that's just Danny's face.
It's just skeptical all the time.
Danny's a likable, lovable guy. He's not skeptical.
So then I tried to sleep, and unfortunately, I thought I had set my alarm, but I didn't, and I woke up 10 minutes before my next game, like a 10-minute Uber ride away from the house. So like we stayed at a different person's house. So we stayed at Colin's teammate Harrison's house. Oh my God, dude, this guy has a hobby room like you wouldn't fucking believe, guys. Like 2,000 square foot basement with multiple hobby tables,
Dang.
like full setup, full like sectional couch with huge TV, plus a huge gaming rig. Literally, he's like, I got the biggest tower I could for my gaming computer, and it's like 3.5 feet tall by like 1.5 feet wide. Like,
Somebody's
it's massive.
compensating.
Cooled by
So-
nuclear fusion.
Sorry.
The centerpiece
Is
of
that-
the room
did you
is
say
a
that-
Warlord Titan with literally as spacing material as a mastodon that it's stepping on and crushing.
It's a monument to man's arrogance.
It's
So no wife, no kids then?
no, he has a wife, no kids. I don't think they have kids though.
Does his wife know that he has this basement?
Oh, she's well aware.
Oh.
Yeah. He has the basement, so all the shit can stay down there.
Right. Oh my god, dude. She's a commission painter.
Oh, nice.
His wife is?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, all right. I didn't know that. Is it Harrison? Is that his first name or last name?
His last name is Jewel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Anyway, we stayed there, and
she must paint really
his
well
house
to be able to afford that for him. I'm just saying. I'm going to need her info.
His house ended up being the international house, so it ended up being all the people that were from outside of the continental United States ended up staying there, or not continental, contiguous United States.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So you got stuck.
I got stuck with a bunch of dirty Canadians and an Australian.
Oh, I tell you what.
It's rough, man.
Actually, I cannot remember his name right now.
Falcon.
No,
We
no,
make
no,
fun
no,
of him a
the
lot.
Australian.
Oh, Adam Camilleri.
Adam.
Yeah,
Adam
from
Camilleri.
from the Down Under Network. By the way, man, what an awesome guy.
Holy cow. Everything that I watched that he was involved in one way or the other was just absolutely entertaining.
Oh my, he's got like an electric personality when he's on the air, and all the time, I should say. He's a great guy. Like, yeah.
So when he's off there, he's just boring as shit. Just sits in the corner.
Just a dick.
Yeah.
just like playing on his phone.
He literally told me, "Fuck America," and like, get out of here.
Man, that sounds like Dave's kind of guy.
Yeah.
Dave hates America.
So
Whoa. We are not starting that. All right, I'm putting my foot down. If I have to use my 2020 veto in the first 2 weeks of the goddamn year, I will. We are not.
Dave, do you want to be unbearably young or do you want to hate America? Because you can only veto one.
I'm using
man, it's like Sophie's Choice over here.
God
I know.
damn it.
Yeah.
Which you also hate. So now you've got a real dilemma on your hands here, Dave.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
It's the triple.
Well, you have to think about it. You have time while Danny continues informing of his.
So my first game that day was against Brian Pullen, who's the 9th best ranked player in the ITC right now. He won the SoCal Open recently.
Yes,
he's
against
an
his
amazing.
Tao.
Yeah, he was an amazing player. So I was a little bit late, like maybe 5 minutes, because I really hustled and got my
So
got my
conceded
stuff
right
together.
away because you were late to the
Hold
table.
on. Let's tell this story how it actually happened. You were intentionally late.
You were
a power
big, yeah.
move.
Oh, sure.
Big league.
I
again.
think, it was big league. Him, that's what it was.
He's sitting there like, who is this scrub from Alaska who can't even be bothered to show up on time? And you strolled in with your entourage at a pimp cane.
And you're like, okay, I'm sorry, Byron Pillin. Although you wait there. I'll be right there.
Say his name wrong intentionally.
Yeah.
Every time he's like,
Power move.
It absolutely is a
Yeah.
power move.
all right, I'm going to go ahead and move my models again over here.
I mean, Dirk, that's funny as heck.
Brain.
So
I watched this game actually. It was
Oh, did you?
It was one of the three I managed to catch over the weekend because my stupid ass work schedule that time.
Dude, your work schedule was insane.
I know. Seriously, dude.
It was super cool. I took a sick day last Tuesday, first sick day I've taken all year. And it was on the last day of
Really,
the year.
I was going to say really impressive actually at
No,
the start of the year.
December 31st, I took a sick day. Luckily, I worked enough that I didn't have to use any sick hours.
Man, that is lucky.
Yeah.
It's good times. But yeah, it was a fantastic game.
Yeah. So and
So some fucking scrub from Alaska against the 9th ranked player in the
I mean,
ITC.
you weren't even in the top 100 at the time of this charity hammer.
I wasn't. I really
No,
wasn't.
no.
So
That kind of hurt my soul,
pretty
actually.
pathetic,
when you got
actually.
bumped out of the top 100, I was like, well, that's it,
I mean, I
boys.
guess
Let's
I'm
nuke
still here
Iran.
playing, right? Yeah, and hey, look how that turned
Oh.
out. Good job, Dave.
You're welcome.
You just must really hate America.
Nope, I've decided I'm going to go ahead and veto that one. I don't want that. I don't need all of our American listeners to think I hate America. That's the last thing I need.
I mean, all four of them already know you do.
Yeah, that's true.
Man, what a great guy! Like seriously, super nice sweaters. Always wearing sweaters. And
So it's like Mr. Rogers of 40K.
kind of, but like he's really like you can just when he speaks, he's very eloquent, and you can really tell that he's like he really thinks about what he does. He also runs the channel on YouTube, Tabletop Titans.
Okay.
So if you've looked at them, they have a lot of really great tactica on various different things.
You know what I appreciated most about him was he wasn't not super strict is the wrong term, but there was a round where you forgot to shoot your Stormhawk. And without even thinking about it, it's like, oh yeah, go back and do it.
Yeah.
You know, it was like, it wasn't because he was like, yeah, of course you were meant to shoot that. That was just a genuine mistake.
Sure.
And like, he didn't want to win by you fucking up and forgetting to do something.
Sure.
And like, he did that a bunch. And like, I appreciated that kind of sportsmanship of the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, ever since the event at LVO 2 years ago, you know, that really brought sportsmanship to light.
It's super important, right?
Yeah.
So it's really important to do that. Like I noticed that in multiple different games across the entire event.
Top players don't play Gotcha 40K.
Nope. And that's isn't that awesome?
It is.
That's why they're top
It
players.
really is. They don't need. Yeah.
And
I
like
absolutely play Gotcha 40K.
Well, and keep in mind, guys, remember, like this is
bottom 50.
tournament for charity. It's not like a super serious thing either.
Yeah.
Right?
We took it super seriously.
We did.
I know.
We did. We tell us. Sorry, we
I
keep
appreciate
interrupting,
that
but
about you
tell
guys.
us your game about Brian.
So
Sorry,
I've been
Byron.
thinking. I knew.
Brain.
I knew that I was playing him, and I've known that I was playing him for quite a while. So I really kind of thought about what my plan was, and I figured that because new Talists are bringing more fusion commanders back again because they're good against Marines, they can kill a lot of different targets. Excuse me. So I knew I was going to have to bait out those fusion commanders in order to win the game. So instead of like just flying my planes like full big dick mode right into the middle of his army and just like trying to blow away as many drones as I could, because he won the roll off to choose who goes first or second, and he chose to go second, which was smart. Like I would have done the same. Well, no, I don't know. I might have done the same thing. Well, it depends. Anyway, so I ended up flying my planes like across the table and up one plane up in a corner. So that I had two planes in my deployment zone and one plane in his deployment zone.
Okay.
So his counter move was to move both of his commanders over because they were Cold Star commanders, so he could move them 40 inches and still shoot like without penalty because of Montka.
That seems OP, but okay.
No, it's just one of the Tao's rules, so they can do that. They can advance and shoot like as if they hadn't moved at all. So he moves 40 inches into that corner in a ruin, and he had the most perfect model placement. Like, it was so cool. He put, it's a square ruin, right? And there's two commanders sitting in the middle of it. And then in two of the corners opposite each other, he put a little triangle almost of stealth suits, right? So
Still Gucci.
oh, they're real good. So in each of the corners, he had one, and then there were two on either side of that stealth suit. And so, even if I killed one squad of stealth suits, I wouldn't be able to shoot either of his commanders. So I had to kill both squads of 3 stealth suits in order to shoot his commanders at all.
Mm-hmm.
It was so good. Like, it was incredible. Like, I had to stop and be like, I had to appreciate it for a moment because of how like technical and good that play was, right? Which was awesome. So unfortunately for him though, like I do have really good indirect shooting.
Mm-hmm.
So I killed both squads between double shooting my Thunderfire cannon and shooting my Scorpius twice with +1 to hit. So hitting on 3s with both of them rerolling 1s still puts out enough wounds that it can easily kill. Well, not easily. It took all of my shooting to kill 6 stealth suits, which is fair.
But those are what needed to die.
Absolutely. And so then once those were dead, each one of my planes could shoot at one of his commanders and kill it.
Right.
So, and that's exactly what happened. After he did it, he's like, yeah, my math wasn't good on that. I didn't think that all the way through. So like that was and that honestly was the big turning point in the game. Like that was pretty much game. Because his Riptides couldn't effectively deal with the planes at that point because the Riptides are -2 to hit against my planes. Mm-hmm. And even his marker lights for his drone squads, the ones that he had left, because I had been like what my planes could shoot at, I shot at drones to try and whittle down those drones as much as I could.
Right.
Which was really effective. I killed like probably 15 drones the first turn and then pretty much the rest of them on the second turn.
Okay.
So anyway, so I killed the drones, or I killed the commanders. Then he killed a plane, and then I flew my other plane over. And meanwhile, like he is, trying to go all out to make sure that he can kill stuff. And so his Riptides aren't super protected. And so like my Leviathan was able to pick up one pretty much every turn after that.
Yikes.
A Riptide. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was a super brutal game. I really managed to pick up steam in that, and I think it was like 30 to 10 or something like that. As the final score.
The big turning point for him in the game is he tried to do a charge into your Leviathan with a couple drones.
And a stealth suit
and
squad.
a stealth suit squad. And if he was able to do that, it would have been able to tie it up for another round of shooting.
Right.
And
he did fail that charge.
He did fail that charge.
Yeah.
I do have a question though. I noticed. So he charged in, and you kind of did some damage back with your Leviathan, but there was one guy that was left in combat with your Leviathan.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with your Librarian, you chose to buff the Centurion squad with 2 different psychic powers in there. Was there a reason you chose not to smite, therefore freeing the Leviathan up from combat, or what was the thing?
I couldn't get line of sight to the models, I don't believe.
Okay.
From my Librarian, and I also wanted to get keep the Centurions there to protect my characters, because Farios was there, as well as my Librarian and my Lieutenant, which are critical. Like the Lieutenant has to live to make the Leviathan like immune to damage from the Riptides, more or less. Not immune, but like very resilient.
Because he has the relic,
right? Because he has the Ironstone.
Okay.
So, I chose to buff my Scorpius, I believe, and buff the Centurions again to make sure that they were going to be hard to kill. Plus, making him devote more firepower to the Centurions, because like he was going to do that anyway, to try and get gangbusters. So to limit the amount of points that he could get from gangbusters was also another benefit to me.
Cool.
Yeah. So
good points.
Yeah.
Top plays.
So Danny takes down first round of the hardest RTT in the world.
Yeah, which was I wasn't sure if I could do it. Like I thought that I came in with a good plan, and I was able to execute it pretty well. So I was really happy about that.
And of course, you obviously really impressed Brain push-ups when you played him. Because he's
brain
push-ups. Yeah,
it was a very good game, and like he's a super classy opponent, and I was really happy to play him.
Like the comments we left in chat afterwards, like, does anyone have any questions? All I could type was, how does he get away with being such a great guy?
Yeah, for serious.
Because he was just great, and like honestly, the nice part about the stream for me was he was very verbal in what he was doing and explaining why he was doing it and the thinking behind it, and then also kind of talking about kind of what you were doing and then what that was making him do. So I learned a lot just by kind of listening to that.
And then, like, if you have a chance, check out his channel, Tabletop Titans. They do a lot of videos like that where he kind of talks through like his thought process. And I also got to play against the video producer of Tabletop of what's that?
Pornhub?
No,
the
video producer of Tabletop Titans at SoCal as well. So
nice.
I've played 2 members of his team, and they're both awesome. So,
and we need to get more awesome people on our team. All we have are dicks like me and John.
It's true. Yep.
It's true.
We really need to diversify. Where dick portfolio is very strong, we need to go into like some nice guy stuff.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna just keep our dick game strong.
Yeah. It's the only place it is.
So my next game I played against Adam Camilleri.
From the Down Under?
From the Down Under work, which was, again, like we talked about it before, it was super fun.
Crikey.
For real.
Yeah.
We ended up at the end of it taking him to Outback Steakhouse because it was funny. Like,
and
because it's
his birthday, right? Or something like that?
No.
Well, he needs to
I don't
understand
think so.
true Australian culture.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
And we wanted to show him like what America thought of Australia.
Yeah.
And then,
So we naturally got him some Fosters.
and then lit the place on fire.
Just kidding. I don't know if that actually happened.
That
I love the fact that people call like it was like, man, Australian, how you're gonna love Foster's, and like Foster's is the
Just
shittiest,
like the shittiest beer there. Well, yeah,
it's
of
like
course.
taking
Foster's-
someone like, oh, you're American. Here's a Bud Light.
Oh man, isn't the beer of your people?
Yeah.
Foster's is shitty.
Clearly,
anyway
it's
you get it.
MGD, guys. Come on,
Clearly.
it's the champagne of beers.
First off, it's MGD Light, okay?
Gross.
And it's Miller High Life that it's a champagne of beers.
Oh, you're right. It is High Life.
That's fair.
Yeah, you're right. Thank you, Dave, for knowing so much about this.
About beer?
About
yeah.
shit
I might have
beer.
had my fair share of cheap beers in my day.
I just always drink Pabst.
So you played
Anyway.
a dirty, filthy criminal.
I did. Yep.
Former member of the Commonwealth.
Children child of a dirty, filthy criminal. There's nothing that says that he's a criminal.
He inherited the crimes of his ancestors.
It's not how that works.
So he deployed very aggressively. He's like, I basically have to go first to win this game. And I'm like, all right, well, I mean, you could, I don't know about that, but
Not
we'll see.
deploy like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he deployed super aggressively. And
What was he playing?
So he played an Imperium mix. He had a Guard battalion, a Dark Angels battalion, and a Styges 8 battalion of AdMech. So
Right, he had Samael, right?
he had Samael and 2 Talon Masters,
Right,
which is still super rad, and he has the good conversions. The conversions that he has. Are the
Oh
ones
yeah,
I
he's
really
got
like.
he's using the Custo jet bikers.
Yeah,
for
which
him.
is what I wanted to do.
It
like,
looks so good.
oh, it's so much better than the speeder. So I will be pursuing that conversion for sure. Like after seeing them in person, they're really rad.
Awesome. So you smoke him and then steal his stuff?
Yep, that's how I roll, dude.
Typically American.
Yep, typically big dick asshole. Anyway, so we played a game. We played our game, which was super fun. He had some of the worst dice rolls I've ever seen in my life.
Oh my god, they were so bad.
That's saying something.
Yeah,
No, they were
so
bad.
he had 2 units of 10 or 3 units of 10 drop scions with plasma guns, 4 plasma guns.
Classic.
So we dropped one behind my Thunderfire cannon, right? And he's like, okay, well the Thunderfire cannon's dead. I'm like, oh yeah, for sure. Because I didn't screen out super well. I moved my screen away from where it should have been. Anyway, so he drops these scions back there on my back line, and he puts 4 plasma guns into my Thunderfire cannon. First one, a 2 and a 1, and they get to reroll 1s. Rolled it to another 1. Dude dies. Next guy, 2 and a 1, reroll the 1 to another 1. Dies. Third one, 2 and a 1, reroll the 1 to a 1. Third guy dies. And no hits, right? And then he finally hit with one and missed with its other shot. Like, it was so bad. He did 3 wounds to the Thunderfire cannon, and I saved one, and then I saved one of the Feel No Pain, so it didn't die. He was like, well, fuck.
So this stream was as dirty as I expected the Falcon Danny game to be, in that Camilleri was just throwing out, like, it seemed like he had no problem staying above the PG-13 limit.
Oh, well, so that stream was done by Down Under Pairings, which has an M rating.
Yeah. So he was like, I could bitch you. I could say, I could fucking hate dice all I want. I was just like, hey, it's supposed to be PG-13.
Guys, if we can't make dick jokes, you can't make dick jokes.
Yeah, we were told we weren't allowed to make mom jokes. That doesn't stop people in the chat, though, from what I understand, from trying to fuck you over, so you still lose.
True.
Mm-hmm.
It's just unsuccessful. You can try all they want, but too powerful to be foiled.
I mean, it was a little late. You know, when the help came for Adam, it was late.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. So some people, I won't name names, were
They were in the chat. It's random. You don't
donating
even know.
money to have me not do stuff, like not charge with my Centurions or not shoot my Leviathan Dreadnought.
I believe they actually tried to get you a pomegranate White Claw first. Just like the worst White Claw flavor there is.
I mean, I would drink it. I don't care.
I know you would have.
I give
No
But I
shame.
wanted to. I did not
No
want you
shits.
to enjoy beating the hell out of Adam Camilleri. I wanted you to have to suffer through crappy White Claw first.
He is a really great guy, and so I didn't have to suffer when I played him. It
I
was
can't
fun.
wait to see him at LBO, actually. I'm really stoked about that.
Yeah, me either. It's going to be great.
Yeah. This is we're
sorry.
running a little long here, so we're
sorry.
going to take a quick break, and we will come right back and finish up with Danny's fantastical fun time, Volume 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Dude, I'm the best. I took first place at another tournament.
First off, stop with the thunder and lightning. You don't impress me. And second, let me check out the BCP rankings. And I don't see you on there.
What?
Your TO needs to download the Best Coast Pairings app and run events on it. After the event, the results are uploaded into BCP rankings, and the best part, it's easy and free.
But I play multiple game systems.
No big deal. The BCP app can be used for any game. A ton of events every weekend are using it, from major international tournaments to local stores. And now that it's available on Android devices, you're going to have some serious competition.
There can be only one
BCP Rankings is a fun and exciting way to measure
how you or your team stack up.
no matter what you play, your score goes to an overall ranking, or compete to be the best in a game, a circuit, a region, or the world.
Download the app or visit www.bestcoastpairings.com for more info.
Best Coast Pairings.
Are you the best?
And now that the bills are paid, Danny, please continue.
So my unexpected game, because I was supposed to host another game.
Yeah, it seemed like suddenly you were on again, and I was like, "Whoa, what's happening?" Danny's playing.
Well, I won a game unexpectedly. In that,
maybe for you,
In that you weren't supposed to beat Byron pull up.
So I ended up playing the internet famous Nick Nanavati.
So lead me through the meeting of the minds for this game when the two of you step up to the table.
Yeah.
Did he offer you his coaching service?
No, but I sure as shit offered it mine.
He gave you one of the wonderful cards we had produced.
Yeah, so we made some, just in case I had to play Nick, we made cards for a coaching.
I gotta say,
for
I did a
coaching
lot of
service.
like, for as much as I thought that you were going to just like lose round 2 against Nick in my bracket, I prepared a lot of meme jokes for you in the case you did advance.
I really wish I brought this like really cheesy Hawaiian shirt too, and I was gonna wear that, but I forgot. I didn't think I was gonna win, so I didn't bring it with me.
Oh.
I knew you were going to win.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
I actually thought you were going to beat Nanavati.
I thought I might have a chance there during the game for sure. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Spoilers.
Anyway,
Everybody's watched the stream already. They know how Danny did. They know that Danny let everybody down. It's fine.
thanks, man. That makes me feel
yeah,
real good.
especially
Basically
as,
started off 2020 by ruining everybody's year.
yeah, especially your mom, Danny. She was real down about it.
Yeah, I could tell when I called her.
Sorry, Mom, I didn't beat
I
Nick.
know she said I'm very disappointed in you, Danny.
I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed.
So I made these cards, right? And I also handed off a bunch to Mitch. So if you're at LVO and you get a yellow card, you might also get a card from my coaching services.
I think my favorite thing was that you did down there was you made a deal with the head LV or an LVO judge to hand out the shitty meme cards that we gave as literal yellow cards. I think that's the single best bit of advertising our podcast has ever done.
By the way, you got a lot of compliments on the formatting for those.
Oh, I
People
did?
really liked them.
Oh,
yeah.
man.
I feel like it might be the second best, but the first best was me actually being on the stream and promoting the podcast. But
When did that? Wait, was that at the Warhammer World one?
yeah, that was actually at Warhammer World.
Yeah.
But whatever.
I think there were more people on my stream, dude.
I think there was.
There was not.
Okay.
I could tell you for certain. So, sadly, Charity Hammer averaged between 40, depending on which stream it was, averaged between 40 and 100 people.
Well, until the last game.
Last game was like 2,000.
Yeah, that's
No,
because it
like
hit front
5.
page.
5?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
hit the front
Ooh,
page,
yeah.
which of course caused the whole stream to break. So it's fine.
Yeah, I think it's a combination of things. Anyway,
Yeah.
doing that stuff on your home Wi-Fi is probably pretty rough.
Yeah, it's probably,
When
like
the,
trying to go into an F1 race with like a shitty beater.
and then winning.
Yeah.
We call that McDeviting.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
So you're gaming against Nick again. Nick, world-class player. He is also one of the pro players on Obey.
Yep, that's
for
true.
creating content. He also has the Art of War podcast, all that other kind of stuff, and kind of known for big plays.
Yep.
And then we got a little plucky Danny coming down from the big city.
From the little city to the big city, right?
Yeah. Well, that's more accurate.
Yeah. So back to that game.
So I hand in my card, and we start deploying and that kind of stuff, and it's the all deploy mission.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Right.
So he chooses to let me deploy everything first. so I
which
can
meant
go
he
second.
can't even seize.
Right.
Okay.
Which is fine. I don't mind.
What
I mean, I was a little bit sad because I would rather go second, of course.
Hold on. You don't mind making it so that somebody can't seize on you for sure? Oh, how tragic.
Well, I would rather not go first. I'd rather go second
Yeah.
because that mission had only 3 objectives, and so it was the person who has the last play
yeah.
is way more important. So we set up our armies, and I mean, hindsight is 2020, right? But I
mental note on that mission. Want to go second? Okay.
how do you not know that? Anyway, so
I don't play armies with troops, so it doesn't matter to me.
Dave, you're such an amateur.
So I deployed. So first of all, I made my first mistake of the game, and I deployed my Leviathan Dreadnought on the wrong side of this building. I should have deployed it on the other side, knowing that the buildings are concave. I should have deployed it on the concave side of the building, so that when I got line of sight to the rest of his army, because they had to, I would just have better line of sight the entire game.
Right.
So my bad. I messed that up. Like, that was definitely my first mistake. I knew that my Scorpius was going to get sniped out, and which is unfortunate. But I really didn't have another good place for it. I maybe misdeployed it. I think maybe I could have deployed it in a way it would have been more impactful in the game. But after I knew that he took engineers, I knew I had to deploy it deep so that I could try and kill his engineers on the first couple of turns.
So when I was watching the game, my only thought was, because your Scorpius was deployed way too far forward, in my opinion. Because you guys had
Absolutely not. That's
you guys
incorrect.
had Triangle Hot Dog, right?
What? No, we had Vanguard, Dave.
Yeah. Yeah. Isn't that Triangle Hot Dog?
That's not what we
No.
call it.
What do we call it?
Vanguard deployment.
Yeah, fucking, I hate you.
There's pointy hot dog and pointy hamburger, and those are the only ways those are the only hamburgers or hot dogs that we call.
I mean, which one?
Well, and you can call
which
Dawn of
one's-
War hot dog deployment
which
and
one is Triangle
Hammer and Angle.
Sandwich?
Mob Rules, a Warhammer podcast, not a
Right.
food review.
anyway.
Oh shit! I need
So-
to save that for food review.
Okay, so
No, I'm serious. I honestly, because you had a wall at the back side of your deployment zone that I felt like the Scorpius could have been behind.
and then I wouldn't be able to touch his engineers the entire game.
It's a 72-inch range.
The Scorpius is 48.
All right.
Dave, have you been cheating for?
No, because everybody moves towards me. I don't have to worry about it.
Okay. Yep, the Scorpius is 48, not 72.
Okay.
So anyway, so I had to deploy my Scorpius in such a way that I could touch like his where his objective is. So that was super important.
Right, because when he took in, as soon as he took engineers, your first thought was, well, I got to kill those guys.
Right. And so and the game started off well in that respect, in that I was able to kill all of his engineers on my turn too, so he didn't get to get any points for engineers at all.
Right.
So that put me at, like, in my opinion, like at least a couple point lead, like right off the bat, just by denying him points. So, but the Leviathan thing would probably haunt me for the rest of the game. I really misdeployed him. He only really got to shoot once. So Nick did an awesome job of mitigating him. Like, kudos to him for like playing really well and having the right idea with that. Like,
Right.
that was a really great play. So I deployed that way. I also, the thing I did do good on is I think I deployed my Centurions in the right way. I deployed them in the middle of the table, and I kind of walked them towards my objective, and then I charged into his line. And I touched a bunch of units so that he couldn't shoot with those units against the Centurions.
Yeah.
But when he attacked with his Smash Captain, I also didn't do as well on my Feel No Pains as I usually do, and so I lost guys that way. And turn 2, he did come down and kill all 3 of my planes, which was rough.
Yeah,
He did great though. His
I was very
shooting
confused.
was about perfect.
yeah, it was. I mean, I would put his shooting, because he came down with the dev. He dropped in a Grav Devastator squad with a drop pod.
Yep.
And picked up 2 of your planes that way, right? Because he broke that up. Oh no, because he'd done some other shooting at them already.
Right.
At one of them.
Yeah, he managed to get some good Stalker bolt rifle hits on one of them and dropped it down to 6 wounds, and then he was able to, or maybe 5 wounds because I saved one or something. And so he was able to kind of divvy up his fire a little bit better. So he was able to kill 2 planes.
Yeah.
So it worked out about perfect for
Yeah,
him.
he picked up all 3 that turn, and it was pretty brutal for
Yep.
you.
And that's, I mean, I usually lose them pretty early on, so it wasn't like a huge deal to me. And Adam complimented me later on. He told me, he's like, because Adam Camilleri was the host for that game. He said, you know, I thought you would just kind of roll over and die at that point, but no, you kept playing. And I'm like, well, yeah, dude, it's just the planes. Like, it's only 500 points in my army. I still have 1,500 points left to fuck somebody up with, right?
And you've done, at this point, you've done quite a bit of damage to him as well. So
Right. I've killed a Centurion squad. I kill his Apothecary on turn 2.
that was, dude, that
Which was huge.
Dude, when that happened, I like cheered, which made everybody in my house really kind of freak out. I was like, I was like, yes! Oh,
Because that was
Pretty much how it went down.
Actual recording of Dave.
Because that was a big turning point in the game, and I also punished his characters pretty hard. Like I killed his librarian and his apothecary like pretty early on.
So you were, by the way, you're both on stream, on camera. You're visible. His face shifted at that point when you took out the apothecary. Like he was like you could see the gears turning in his head. Like, oh my God, I'm gonna lose to this scrub from Alaska.
This was supposed to be a ringer.
I'm Nick Nana freaking Vadi, okay? Who is this guy? And like the chat was commenting on it, like Nick seems to have suddenly gotten very confused.
So I was and like
he's Mike Tyson and you're little Joe, and you're just like.
Yeah, so I felt pretty good at that point in time. Once I killed the apothecary, I felt very good. Like I was like, all right, cool, I'm in this now, like for sure. Like I have a pretty good chance, especially if I can touch a bunch of his units.
Did you touch his unit?
I did.
How many of his units did you touch?
Many.
All right.
And so he ended up barely living with his warlord when I charged with. I should have put all of my centurion attacks into the warlord, to be honest. Like that was a mistake. That was my second mistake that I think I made that game. I feel like, and then he managed to counterfire and kill the centurions down to 1, which was cool. He also denied the +1 armor save on them using the Iron Hand stratagem, which cost him only 2 CP because he didn't have to re-roll for the 4-up. He got it on the first try, which was good. That was a good move on his part, because
nice. I mean,
if they would have had the +1
move.
armor, if they would have had the +1 armor, like that would have been a whole totally different game, like for sure. So, he did exactly the right thing, and he did forget to tremor shells them.
Oh, tremor shells. Did he? Yeah. He didn't forget. I think he didn't want.
Well, he shot at something else instead that didn't do much, and so he felt like it was like, oh, duh. Like I should have tremor shells them, and then they would have been out of the game for that turn.
Right.
So more or less the end of the game was him putting guys like one squad at a time onto the objective, and then me killing those guys off the objective. Back and forth, and his warlord had student of history, so his warlord could jump in, fight, and then consolidate back behind a wall, and I couldn't really do anything about it. So that's why the Centurions, when they went in, like had to kill that guy for sure. I brought in Farios into combat. Farios did good. He got into the drop pod, which was awesome, and the scouts, and his Farios, and my Centurion also punched his Farios to death, which was great.
Nice.
But it was too little too late, and I wasn't able to swing the tide back in my favor, unfortunately.
So there was a bit of a controversy at the end of this.
Yeah, so Adam was scoring the game, and I didn't think at any point that I was going to win. I felt like it was a really close game because I had a lead every single turn.
Right.
Going up into this, and so
those of us in the chat and watching were like, Danny's winning.
Yeah, so Colin came in several times and asked the score, and Adam told him, and he was like, oh, and looked at me like with this weird perplexed look, like
you're supposed to be the funny guy. Make a joke, funny guy.
You're Chris Farley. You're not Lorne Michaels. What's happening here?
Not this. Yeah. Anyway, so so we recalculated the score, and there was a little bit of a scoring mistake. So, which no big deal. That happens. And I'm happy to I knew I wasn't going to win the game.
24-23 or 24-22?
It was 25-23 was the
25,
score.
Which is great.
Yeah, I was really happy with that result.
I mean,
so
the only thing that I disliked about watching that, I wish they had taken it off the stream, was Nick's demeanor unfortunately went from happy-go-lucky, having a good time, to him losing on paper and him going, nope, let's see it. We got to recount that right now. Like the beauty queen that should have won the pageant. And it was kind of like, oh, Nick, you're on camera. Please, try to stay happy about this. Figure it out.
Right.
Get through it. And when he was like, no, I had to have won. It was like, come on, you can't. I think in his head he was like, I can't lose to this guy from Alaska that nobody's heard of. I have to beat him. Otherwise, what's that going to do for me? And he's got a brand about a coaching service. So if Danny beats him, it looks really bad.
Sure.
Even though you played very well. You both played an amazing game. It was amazing to watch.
Danny is a student of Nick's.
Sorry, was that a D or an N to start
seriously?
that word?
No, I'm joking.
I mean, he's a student of dicks for sure. Yeah.
That is
That
absolutely
is
accurate.
But
So what I learned from Danny's coaching service was losing with grace.
So I had to implement the anteater style at first, and then
the only thing I learned from Danny's coaching
then I went on
service was I
full-on
was about to
mushroom.
be handed my first win since receiving this card, or my first loss since receiving this card.
Which please guys, get yellow cards at LVO. Let's see.
Oh my god, how many of those do we have left? Because
I have a whole other box.
I want to
Yeah.
hand them out like stripper cards at Vegas. I want to stand next to the guy handing
Card
out
does
stripper
not buy a
cards.
lap dance.
I
Whatever.
handed out a lot of cards at this event, so lots of people have them.
Good.
I gave Mitch the rest of that box. There was probably 100 in there.
Oh man,
I love it.
So
get a yellow card.
Okay, so after that super close game with Nick, where you pushed him to his limits and you almost pulled it through,
I went to bed
you went to bed.
because
you
I
went-
had been up at that point for like
3 hours.
I had been playing for 9 hours, and that day I had played. That was my 5th game of the day.
I thought you
Jesus.
hosted a stream after that.
No, that was the next day.
Okay, so just so we're clear, that was the toughest game Nick played all weekend.
Oh no, I did host a stream after that. You're right.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, because he rolled Colin pretty hard, I think.
oh no, he rolled Colin like Colin didn't even belong at the table. It's like he made Colin look like me. You know, it was brutal.
Well, I could see his list not being super good against Nick's, like Colin's list, because Colin's list is very alpha strikey and Nick's is like very denial heavy. Like it just doesn't die, which is like the way it should be played. Like I think that's the best Iron Hands list, to be honest with you. I think it's better than my flyer list.
Wow.
Well, it is by 2 points. We have proof of that.
We have proof of that.
like it's on video.
It's never played against my list, so I'm not
And
worried about it.
Keep in mind,
Don't
during
worry,
that
you'll
game,
leave a shitty little hole in your Thunder
I can't
Fires.
say this enough, guys. Like I also had good luck. So,
Oh no, we're
like,
aware. I don't know if you know this, Danny, but the 6s on Mob Rules dice are 100% visible on camera.
Yeah.
I rolled really good on my saves for this unit of eliminators.
Oh, we know.
Yeah, it was so hot. And then on the last turn or the second to last turn, my Thunderfire cannon killed exactly one squad of jump pack boys. The
Are you saying that's because of your dice rolls using Mob Rules dice
available now.
Yeah.
for only $10
I know.
for 10?
$1 a dice?
$1 a dice for
What
guaranteed
price?
6s asterisks.
What price can you put on victory?
$10, Danny.
$10.
That's
Yeah,
what I would put on it.
$10. You may even want 2 sets.
Dude,
which is for the low price
Yeah,
of $21.
Yeah, I did
what?
I did mail some to Finland. So
Hell
we're,
yeah.
we're international
Hell
businessmen
yeah.
now.
Look at us.
So when we
champions over
to go back to your Falcon game, there was
Yeah.
one turn where you failed one 6-up save and made the rest.
Yeah, that's right.
We lost it in voice chat. It was holy shit. That is 6 6s and 1 5. And it was just like you see Falcons like, haha.
Oh.
We literally, John and I jumped in the type chat and we're like, Mob Rules Dice available now from your local friendly Mob Ruler.
$1 from each purchase goes to my alcoholism.
Just $1?
Yeah, well, I drink much less now.
That's true. More goes to my alcoholism.
So I hosted a couple of really great games. I hosted Jim Vessel versus John Lennon,
all right, so
which was so much fun, man.
I got to
That was-
tell you,
a-
here's
a
what I've
fun
learned
game.
about Jim Vessel and John Lennon. They are awesome.
Did you watch that game?
Yeah.
That was so fun, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Also, John Lennon, not the one you'd think it was. He is not the Beatle guy.
Oh.
You know what?
he hates that. To be fair, I'd be super annoyed if people
Yeah.
called me that all the time too.
Well,
Like,
your name isn't John Lennon, so that would be really weird.
Yeah. Fucking Ringo Starr
oh,
over
yeah,
here,
that
though,
would be,
changed
I
his name
guess,
to
wouldn't
Danny.
it, honestly? Yeah. Yeah. Well, I was tired of people calling me, Rinny Ringo and like,
Asking how the things are going on at the station for Thomas the Tank Engine. You know,
what?
Hmm?
I don't know what you're talking about.
oh right, you don't have any kids. Never mind.
Definitely not. Anyway, so that was a super fun game, and then I also hosted 2 other games before my game with Chuck. I hosted a game between Chris Blackham and Colin Sherman, which was super fun. That was an Eldar off. That was in the semifinals.
Right.
In which Colin, it was actually a close game. I thought Blackham was going to take it, and then Colin just wouldn't die one turn.
Pulled the rug out from underneath him.
Yeah, it was, but Colin was like, "Oh, he's like, oh yeah, I have this game in the bag. I went first." And then it's like, well, maybe not. After his first turn was pretty bad. So, so that game was really good. Then I had a game where I streamed John Lennon again. And by the way, I love John Lennon. And
we have interacted with him many times online,
Dude.
and I no interaction have I
I
ever felt bad about.
No,
I cannot wait to meet Lennon in Vegas.
oh, dude, he's the best.
and
He's
I will
awesome.
I will actually.
I've had
literally
less
not make a Beatles
interactions
joke.
with him,
and you still like him.
but I will not make a Beatles joke to his face because
No.
that just seems rude.
Honestly, it does. The first time I saw the name, I was like, "That's just it's low hanging fruit." Come on,
Because we're such a high hanging fruit podcast here.
you know what? We're surprisingly high hanging actually.
Highbrow.
Highbrow.
Yeah, our humor is actually less mom jokes and more
More dick jokes.
tea
More
and
dick
crumpet.
jokes.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I hosted a game between John Lennon and Alex McDougall. And so they got to the table and they're like, yeah, so you want to play, like, so Alex has been playing this Ridge Runner list all weekend,
Yeah.
which was
Okay.
super
Oh, yeah,
interesting.
yeah.
So now, spoiler, I was going to ask you about the Ridge Runner list and your actual take on it.
It's really
But
good.
hold on, let's go through this game.
Hot take.
So before the game, they're talking and they're like, let's switch armies. And they're like, yeah, cool, let's do it. Because John's played Tyranids a bunch of times. Alex has never played Marines. And to get a better idea of how Marines work, he borrowed John's Marines and played those.
Which, by the way, I thought that was really cool.
Hell yeah, that was awesome.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
I didn't even have to pay $50 to make it happen.
Right. Well,
Or $100 to make it unhappen.
Well, for the kids.
yeah, but guys, I had to beat the Falcon. Come on. Oh, by the way, let's settle this right now. The Falcon won the sexy off. I'm going to concede defeat.
We are not.
He's
The
inspired
people in
me
the
to
chat-
wear a tie around my head at LVO all weekend.
He started to take off his shirt.
I
No,
know.
he took off his entire shirt. I complained
No,
that
he
it was
he opened it.
violating TOS.
Yeah, there's no nipples allowed.
Yeah, he undid it and he pulled it back and tucked it into the backside so it was hanging open,
Right.
kind of like a belly dancer
It was
scarf.
Yeah,
Pretty
it was,
fucking sexy.
It was
I'm gonna
pretty
be honest.
sexy.
The chat actually agreed that you won the sexy off.
Really?
To be fair,
And
the
not because
chat
there was most of us from Mob Rules.
Chat was mostly our listeners, and was conjoined by me and Dave to vote a certain way.
Right.
That was not the reason at all.
There was actually other people in there who had nothing to do with us who were like, well, Danny's definitely sexier than the Falcon. So it was like, I was like, is that Danny's mom? What is that?
No, apparently it's his mother-in-law.
Yeah. Yeah, this late. Casey did well for herself. Woof.
Danny's just like, yeah, she did.
Yeah, she did.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, Ridge Runners versus
Anyway,
Marines.
yes.
Yeah, so that Ridge Runner
So
list
they swapped
is
lists.
spicy, dude. Like, I think it's got
dude.
legs.
I
It actually has wheels and multiple las
Well,
cannons.
that's
no,
true. It
no, and
does.
40K stuff has legs, John. You should
But
know
the
that, Disco
version of
Man.
the list, I think that Colin Sherman was running is a little bit better than the Gene Stealer version that Alex was running.
I agree 100%.
I don't know enough about it to have
So
an
all right,
opinion
what
either
he
way,
did
but
is
I disagree.
he swaps out Swarmlord and Gene Stealer stuff for like the super fast Gene Stealer move
Yeah.
with exocrines.
Nice. Yeah, shooty.
So,
So-
it's like all of these vehicles plus a bunch of exocrine shooting, which is really good.
So Colin's list has 9 Ridge Runners with mining lasers.
Yep.
Man, that's only $500 worth of models.
Right. So you literally,
It is. That's
this
exactly
list
correct.
is ridiculously expensive. It takes the most expensive models available in both Tyranids and GSC to
Though
make.
in saying that,
like a
those Ridge
$2,000
Runners
list.
are such good models.
They're so cool
They're
though,
so
right?
cool.
Oh my
After
God.
seeing them in person, like a bunch of them, it looks awesome.
Yeah.
Who brought Ridge Runners? Because Colin was using freaking Torox because he didn't have any Ridge Runners when he was
Dude,
playing it.
Alex has 8 Ridge Runners. He actually has 8 Ridge Runners.
Of course he does. He's probably Alex. We're talking about Alex Harrison, right? The actual
No, we're not talking about the cheater. We're talking about
No, not
Alex
the cheater.
McDougall.
The Tyranid.
Sorry, McDougall. Sorry, the top Tyranid player, right?
He very well could be. I don't remember.
The top
if he is.
Nid.
So the topper Nid, who's going to have all this stuff because he invests in Nids, like
Right.
people that love
That
Nids
is his
do.
very favorite army. He doesn't really play anything else, I don't
Right.
think.
So I mean, he was one of the top players who did not swap to playing Space Marines like some sort of punk and knocked me off of in top 10 for Astartes
Yep.
when the Codex came out.
True.
Awful
All that's
bitter for an
accurate.
average player, Dave.
Oh, pretty fucking bitter right now, actually. I've just watched my ranking fall. I was like, I've worked myself up so far. I feel so good. I'm like high-fiving people when I walk through the class. And then the new kid shows up and everybody's all hanging out with him instead of me, and it sucks.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the Ridge Runner is super good.
It's a good list. Basically, the trick is you can use a stratagem and a warlord trait. I'm sorry, a stratagem and a unit's ability to make them all ballistic skill 2 with rerolling 1s against one unit.
Plus, you have a bunch of exocrines, which just they are since Psychic Awakening, and I believe John, you and I said the same thing. We said these have serious play.
Yeah. We also have said a bunch of other things that were really untrue. So it really cut away from our credibility for the exocrine part.
Only about Blood Angels. Actually, NIDS, we were like 100% spot on, which is surpazing.
Well, I played NIDS for a couple of years, so yeah.
And I know enough about NIDS because I wanted to play them for a little while. But then stuck with Space Marines, so.
And then I played my last game against Chuck, which we've already talked about, which was super great. I ended up winning that game, but not by a lot. Because he managed to claw a bunch of points back by making every single save on this Chaos Lord.
What a bastard.
Awesome. It was great. It was super fun.
Didn't even use mob rules dice.
I am absolutely blown away by Chuck's models.
Oh, they look so cool.
He is a conversion master.
Yeah,
I
he did a good
pity
job.
the person that has to look through Chuck's 20,000 photos for his entire army going to LVO for conversions.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I mean, and there are no generic models in Chuck's army. Everything
they're all
is
converted.
A conversion.
Yep.
I mean, he's using Reavers as possessed, which looks amazing.
They look really good. He's the one who has the Memphis Den as well, right?
The Chaos Lord Memphis.
The Chaos Lord Memphis Den, where I'm like, oh, I want to steal that.
Oh, yeah, I'm using mine as a Chaos Sorcerer.
Yeah, they're super good.
I mean, I'm using mine as a bookend because I'm never going to play Blood Angels. That's dumb.
So just sort of as a wrap up for the whole weekend, Charity Hammer 2 Electric Boogaloo, I believe is the second one, right?
Yep.
Ended up raising about just over $10,000 for charity. $12,000 for charity, which was an amazing accomplishment.
Yeah, almost double from the previous year.
Almost, yep.
Tell me, what were some of your key takeaways from that event?
The competitive community is full of really awesome people, and I've never been more jazzed about our community like after an event ever. Like, it's so cool. We have so many good people in our community, and it's really great to get to meet some of these people and play some games with them. The other thing I would say is that it's really great to get some super high-level competitive games, like to get to play those.
We play all the time.
Because I was going to say, you don't necessarily get that opportunity a lot in Alaska up here.
Well, yeah, it's less so, which is like, I'm not complaining about that.
I think that's kind of surprising. I think we actually have
a really good community.
I think per capita we have very talented players.
Well, I think I've said it before. Like, I always assume I'm terrible and talk about how bad I am in the game, and then I play out of state and I feel better about myself afterwards.
Well, because I liken it like
and
to this.
People know the rules up here.
That's true. I liken it to like this. There's so many players down there that you have a way lower chance of playing a high-quality, good player in events in the lower 48. No offense to you guys in the lower 48, than you do up here.
No,
up here you got to play Taylor, or you have to play Rob, or you have to play Danny, or even me, to some degree. And I'm not saying that, or a top Blood Angels player in Miller, who just absolutely loses to Danny every time and doesn't even play him anymore. I mean, we have
it's not really a game when you can't win.
You have to play against Joe,
teeth on the way.
who was a Renegades and Heretics best in faction.
That's
player.
true.
Yeah, back when no one played Renegades and Heretics.
Keep the curtain closed, John. Come on. So up here, we have a lot of, for the amount of players we have a lot of really, really good players. And I think it's surprising when we leave the state and start laying down beatdowns on people in the lower 48 because they're just like, well, how can you be any good? You're from Alaska. You don't get to practice. It's like,
sure. Yeah.
So I guess my question for you is, did anyone who is not you from Charity Hammer walk away going, holy crap, McDevitt, that guy's got game? Or maybe
I don't know.
that guy fucks.
His wife.
She was
really enjoying the rim shot one
Thank
this
you.
episode,
Yeah,
guys.
really
Really
She
good.
also
Thank
really
you.
enjoyed the rim shot.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't have a good answer to that.
He doesn't know. He doesn't have a good answer to that.
Sorry.
Thanks, Repetotron 2000.
Well, he was so far away from the microphone
I was really
that I
far
couldn't
away
hear
from
him.
the mic. I had to use
I know.
all of the power in my voice to record myself on your microphones.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
Is
I'm
that a
not.
shitty
I'm not
microphone
like
joke?
I mean, I just hope that I made a good impression on people, and that like our community is good, and that we have good players that come from our community. Like that's the most important thing. That
I'm hoping it can net us
or
some
like
more
fun players, I should say.
Yeah.
I'm hoping it can net us some players coming up for the Midnight Sun GT.
I hope so too.
Yeah.
in July.
Yeah, I think there's the possibility of that. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that turns out. There may be. There's, like it's always a crapshoot to get people up here, right? Like for sure. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
We'll see. Danny, anything else you want to add there?
this was probably one of the top 3 hobby experiences of my entire life, and I really hope that I get invited back next year. I hope I will. And I would
say.
love to do it again.
I'm hoping that you can manage to get us smuggled in your suitcase next year. Actually,
That'd be really cool to get you guys there for sure.
I don't think I rank anywhere near.
no, we wouldn't be playing games.
I'm not dressing
We
up
would
like
just-
a
Man,
cheerleader.
if you
for
guys could host some games and stuff like that too,
Oh yeah,
that would
No,
be
if
really
you
cool.
and I could host games together,
And play some games too, honestly.
You know,
we could do some serious Mean Gene
You
style.
guys are
stuff.
better than the Falcon. That's
I'm
for
pretty
sure.
funny. Well,
Well, we
Oh,
knew
yeah,
that
I mean-
we knew that going in, Danny. Those that can do, those that can't have a sports stat center show.
that's real specific, but real true.
Yeah.
But yeah, we own Marlboro's branded Falconer gloves, so there's that. Hey, we're gonna take our last quick break here. When we come back, we have some listener questions, and then we're gonna have some quick LVO prep coming up. LVO prep 2. The holy shit! It's how many weeks away?
Do you have a single wound? A standard bolt gun? Having trouble maintaining an acceptable Xenos kill count? Only barely over 2 meters tall? Maybe it's time to ask your lieutenant if the Rubicon Primaris is right for you. The Rubicon Primaris is a prescription process that helps you to update that tired look. You may notice an increase in your purging abilities within 2 to 4 hours. You may experience loss of life, additional organs, and a points increase. Do not take the Rubicon if you plan on fitting into rhinos, drop pods, or other traditional vehicles. The Rubicon Primaris is not intended for second founding chapters. The Rubicon Primaris is for use on genetically enhanced super soldiers over the age of 800 only. You are encouraged to report negative side effects to your company's apothecary. The Rubicon Primaris. Because sometimes plot armor is just not enough.
And we're back, and it's the holy shit. It's only how many days till LVO?
know.
Segment is
Let's-
all on us here.
Let's be honest here. We're gonna do a serious LVO next episode.
Well, Dave,
I'll call you from Vegas.
oh, you should do that there. Well, if Dave doesn't want to participate, we're just going to mute Dave's mic right there. And got him.
I want to.
So yeah, we have some questions here. Russell wants to hear Falcon's response when Danny gave him his present. It was manly hugs and beard touching.
Yep.
There was sparks from the beards.
was
Actually,
some
I thought
sparks.
a
There
small
was-
fire was going to start.
It's possible. There was a lot of friction.
Vic wants to hear Dave hype Blue Ribbon Chicken. I don't think we need to wait long for that here.
I really want some blue ribbon chicken.
So
And then, well, before we move on to the LVO stuff here, Master Hands asks, what was Danny's favorite game to watch?
Oh. The Jim Vessel versus John Lennon game was my absolute favorite because, like, I was able to blow on one of Jim's dice to re-roll an explosion result to a 6. He got it, and it was like the best thing ever. Like, he literally ran around the table with his arms up, yelling how happy he was. It was
Man,
awesome.
all you had to do was blow him.
Yep.
And then onto the LVO stuff here. Seth, he has a small fanzine called Dangly Boys.
Fanzine.
He's asking for some tips for first-time attendees. Where can we find you assholes when we get there? And must-do list of things besides playing the championship. So I would say where you can find us when you get here, Seth. You can find Danny and I, at the very least, in our hotel room where you will be instantly recording with us.
Please let me get there before you
straight
start.
away.
Let me get there first because I'm not hanging out in your hotel room. That'd be just weird.
So as I'm bringing all my recording equipment with me.
Hold on.
Okay.
Dave, I would like to formally invite you to hang out with us in our hotel room.
Yes.
But not if we're not there and not if we don't invite you in.
That's fair.
Like you'll know if I'm
if
not-
there's a tie on
like
the door.
you'll know if I'm not in
Dave,
your room if you're not
seriously,
I can fucking. I'm like Batman, dude. I will climb. Spider-Man. I'm like Spider-Man. I will climb to your room, break in through the window, and just shit on your bed.
Batman can't
I'm
climb?
like Spider Shit Man. Well, he's got to use a grappling hook. He can't just climb the
Let's
building.
just call you Shitman for short.
Yeah,
No,
sorry.
damn it.
And then on Thursday, and you already used your veto. So short-sighted.
buddy.
God, 2020, what have you done to me?
So Dave gets in a week early because he's younger and
It's a
wants to
day.
enjoy the nightlife.
All right, no,
Right.
I'm going to
It's
tell
going
you
to
this
give him a
story
chance
right
to
now.
get some to get drunk.
I was able
Yeah.
to fly first class for $400 if I left a day early.
Oh, man, that's just that millennial
So I'm
skill
some
of just searching for
bourgeois
the
bullshit
best details.
in first
Seriously.
class.
Danny and I get in on the same
on
flight
the more respectable flight
on Thursday.
I'm going to get a
afternoon.
nice day of
Ironically,
rest.
I'm flying coach. Danny is in first class on the same flight.
I cannot wait to take a picture of the peasants as they parade by me.
It's just the only part. The only part of me not going down the same flight as Danny is because I would also be sitting in first class, and I would love to. I would also be taking a
and
picture.
then-
of
The
John
only
flying
thing
fast.
the only part of you not going down on me because of that is your mom, because I'm on a flight and that's unacceptable.
That's right. Where's our
Bullshit.
Mile
Mile
High
High
Club.
Club, baby, do it.
So and then list of
Wouldn't be
things to
here
do
first time.
besides playing
Been
the
there, done
champs. Seth, you're going to find out Thursday night a list of things we're going to do beside the championship.
Hell yeah.
I got to handicap you for our eventual probably first round game anyway.
Of course, right?
Of course. There's shows, there's gambling, there's drinking. It's going to be a good time. Today, Danny and I decided to play in the team tournament. I obviously will not be in a position of playing in the championships on Sunday.
You don't know that.
Hopefully, I know that. Like I
Don't sell yourself short.
I
You've
will-
improved a lot in the last
I
week.
will bet you right now $500 that I will not be in the top
not
8
gonna
of
take that
LVO.
bet.
Right now, $500 that I will not be in the top
I'm not
8
going
of
to take that
LVO.
bet because then you'll just submarine and sabotage yourself. I mean, I'm just saying, don't sell yourself short. Right now, everybody who goes to LVO has a chance, just like Chris Moneymaker, the unknown from the World Series of Poker.
That was a very good thing here, but no. More realistically, Danny and I are going to be playing in the team championship on Sunday.
Extremely hungover.
Extremely hungover. I'm bringing my prescription sunglasses.
They are
so
Nice.
I
Yeah, same.
So
Yeah.
I can be inside wearing sunglasses and just hungover.
Oh man, we'll look so fucking cool, dude.
Yeah, that's
You have no idea how cool we're going to look.
it's 0% cool.
And then
I'm
I
gonna
think
pop my fucking collar. It's gonna be great, and I'll be like chugging.
I'm going to wear like just a
Advil.
denim suit.
So what is your team name though, so people can track it if they're looking
we're-
for it on the BCP?
TBD.
yeah,
TBD.
We have some ideas.
We have some ideas. We have to fine tune them.
I really like the one where we have a very long team name that just specifically calls out one of the judges.
And also me,
But just
huge
says,
fan.
but just
Huge
says
fan.
that Dave hates that person. And then another great thing to do, check out the vendor hall. The vendor hall is
super good.
is amazing. I need to go there right away because I am picking up my carry tray from Hammerhead Games that I pre-ordered.
Oh, nice.
Pre-order yours from Hammerhead Games.
Oh,
and
it's too late.
I'm putting the You can
No, I thought he was sold out of what he's taken to LVO, like already the pre-orders. Like he couldn't
Well, just
pre-order anymore.
check Hammerhead Games and see if you can get in. And they're $20 for a great quality tray. Tell them Mob Rule sent you, and they'd like a kickback for all this cool advertising. But yeah, Forge World. There's the Forge World booth, which has all the event exclusive miniatures.
Man, I forgot about
Can't
that.
wait for that.
There is, I believe,
I'm gonna
there
have
is
you
a,
wait in line for me.
Not this year.
there is a Fez supplier, I believe.
What?
The year I went, there was
Well,
a
there
Fez
was.
supplier.
There was last 2 years ago. There
yeah.
was. I don't think there was last
Oh,
year.
well, we should double
LVO's
check.
too big now. They don't. They can't.
They can't just let any Faz, Dick, or Harry in there. But yeah, check out the vendor hall. Check out Bally's Casino. But yeah, definitely make sure if you're going to be there, let us know. And
Check out Blue Ribbon Fried Chicken. It's like
Blue-
just outside of
Yep.
Bally's, in the Bally's
check
amphitheater
out
or something like that.
check out the Hooters Casino, which I'm sure I'm going to try and go to this year.
Oh, have you not been there?
No, I didn't go there.
Oh,
last
we'll
time.
go there.
We'll go there. Okay.
I have also not been there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
yeah.
it's all right.
You can message us
Oh,
on Facebook
for me,
and
it's
find
all
out.
right. For John, it's like, oh, we'll go there. For
Yeah.
me, it's
You
all
can-
right. You
I
can
just
just take.
don't-
You
I
can go
just-
to bed, Dave.
I
It's
just
fine.
don't know if you're old enough to really appreciate it.
Are you even allowed in a casino, Dave? But yeah, so lots of great
I
LVO
hate
plans.
you
If
guys
you
so
are going to
much.
be in Vegas, let us know. We would love to meet up with you guys. We're going to record some content. We're down there, and we just plan on
I just wanna-
having the best time we won't remember.
There we go.
Yeah, there it is.
But
Hooray.
we're recording it, so there's a log.
Dude, some weird. I can't wait to listen back to the Vegas recordings.
The Vegas
Oh, man.
sessions.
We're just sitting
So
back up in Alaska
we
a week
need
later.
to make sure we edit those.
No, he's only bringing the board. He's
No,
not,
I'm taking the laptop. We're going to be editing
Okay,
those.
good, because
I
I'm
cannot
nervous
imagine that
about
any
this. Yeah.
editing is any good
No.
that happens here. It's just he's gonna cut the wrong thing. It'll just be Danny saying "fuck."
So, all right. So we talked about the rest. Let's talk about the best. We're talking about Blue Ribbon Fried Chicken. Dave, tell me about it.
All right, so
us
Blue
about it,
Ribbon
yeah.
Fried Chicken is a New York-based fried chicken company that has one franchise in Las Vegas.
Oh.
So somebody from Las Vegas went to New York and was like, fried chicken in New York? There's no fucking way that's any good.
Right.
And then he came back and said, I need a fucking franchise all the way across the country so I don't have to travel to New York to get it.
Man,
And
that's
so
when
he
you know
opened it.
you're rich.
Oh, dude, seriously.
Yeah.
When
Mr.
you're
Valley is the way he
franchise
is.
across the country buying rich.
If I could, I would franchise it up here.
Oh, can you imagine how good it would do? It would be
It would
unbelievable.
destroy stuff. First off, you'd have to put it in a good place because Anchorage suffers really badly from like location restaurants. That
Yeah,
you
because
get
the
certain-
location
Put
is
it into
Anchorage.
Cotonou, you're good to go.
Yeah, in Takatnu,
Oh, yeah.
Man,
Oh, dude.
beautiful.
we'd be millionaires.
This is really tracking
be like,
well
how
with
much
our
is-
non-Anchorage listener base right now.
So for the 3 people that are not from Anchorage that are listening to us,
Actually, it's the other way around.
So,
we don't have a lot of Anchorage listeners. We have a ton of international.
Right. I need to preface everything that I say about Blue Ribbon Chicken is simply this: I don't like fried chicken,
oh, wow.
You
and
bitch.
I need to go back and eat this fried chicken.
I want to eat it more than once, I think, maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
I'm there.
If I get to go once, I'll be happy. If I get
So,
to go twice, I'll be even happier.
Cody and I are staying till Friday. We're staying an extra week. We're renting a car and just kind of making like a whole trip out of it.
Man,
I'm gonna eat so much Blue Ribbon chicken.
dude,
You're gonna get selfies of me in Blue Ribbon, just like sent directly to you.
that's not cool, Dave.
No, that's
Yeah,
just
well,
at
neither
least
is telling people that I'm freaking 10 years old. So it's
We didn't
fine.
say 10. We said you were a millennial.
Right.
Millennials wouldn't be 10.
You're not a zennial. Is
Yeah.
that what they're called?
Yeah,
I don't
zennial.
even remember.
Yeah.
It all hurts my head. So
Yeah. Man, well, that's what it is there.
Oh,
So-
and they have boozy milkshakes. I'm
yes,
pretty- yeah.
yes, the boozy
Yeah.
milkshakes.
Mm.
and I think the
We
most
got to start off
important.
with a football though, Danny.
Oh, yeah, we got to get a
When
football.
you guys get settled in, we got to head out. First drink has got to be a football.
What if they have sugar-free versions?
We'll have to see. I think-
You know what? I don't care.
I was
We're-
like, I
this is on
literally do not
vacation.
care.
Yep, I told my wife, and I'm like, I'm breaking a lot of rules when I'm in Vegas, and dietary is one of them.
Yep.
I will say,
Just
I will
The
say,
stripper rule still be in effect.
the important thing is
There's a
for
rule.
those who don't make
For
top
John.
8 of the LVO championship game, Rob Schneider does have a live stand-up show on Sunday night.
ooh.
Oh, it's Sunday.
Sunday,
What time is that?
Sunday night? Like,
Did you buy tickets?
I might buy tickets for. We'll see. We'll just go heckle him.
Dude, I would love that.
We'll just go
I don't know
heckle
that I'd
Rob
want-
Schneider.
Have you watched his show?
Yes.
Like his
No.
most recent one?
no.
It's really good.
No. Oh,
Yeah.
we
Wait,
might
his
just.
most the Life of Rob or whatever it is?
Yeah,
It was pretty good. It
It
was
was-
shocking. He just cut off at season 2.
right.
Yeah.
No, man, that's just how TV is nowadays.
Can't wait for
But yeah,
more
that's it.
Mandalorian.
For our next episode, currently slated to record Wednesday, we're gonna have Dave live on location at Vegas. Danny and I holding
I'm
up
going to
here.
be live on location at Blue Ribbon Chicken.
I will probably be.
Fuck you.
I will probably be painting cultists mid episode as I
Yeah.
continually put off my troops choice.
And I'll be trying to paint up a new army to play in the
yeah, as you
doubles.
decide. Can't just make 1,000 points from your Iron Hands and we
Just-
do Iron Hands Night
you-
Lords.
you have-
just
I mean, I could, but that
Didn't
doesn't
you end
seem
up with
fluffy.
1,000 points of Night Lords from the Urban Conquest?
Not completed.
just get warp talons. I just need you to get warp.
I
talons.
have 10 warp towns
Oh, there
built.
you go. Yeah,
Yeah,
just
Danny
10 warp
has-
talons and then let me charge giant monsters at people.
Okay, we'll see what happens.
We'll see.
Tell you
Dave,
what happened. You guys are going to be asleep in your bed, not at the tournament. so.
no, we will be hungover at a tournament.
Dude, I can wake up.
Oh yeah, I
I'll
have
be there.
This guy wakes.
I have
Oh,
sunglasses.
I wake.
Oh man, Dave, anything else you want to add in before we call it a night?
Nah, I'm good.
Danny,
Yeah, if you guys want to watch any of the streams that I was on, you can check out the Charity Hammer streams on Can Hammer as well as Down Under Network. And Biff Pod, those should all be loaded up into YouTube like pretty recently. And if you want to donate to the charity to watch them, I think that would be really beneficial. It goes to a really good cause. And yeah, We'll see you in Vegas if you're going.
Yeah, we'll see you in Vegas if you're going. This podcast, the next episode will be launching. I believe I'm going to launch it early because we won't have anything fucking cool to talk about. And we'll catch that Vegas crowd. And yeah, we'll see you guys in like 10 days ish, maybe even 12. Who knows? I don't math well. But yeah, for Mob Rules, I've been John.
And I've been Dave.
I've been Danny.
And we'll see you in 2 weeks. The world is changed. I feel it in the water. I feel it in the earth. I smell it in the air. Much that once was is lost. For none now live who remember it. It began with the writing of the Great Edition. 3 codexes were given to the Eldar, immortal, wisest, and fairest of all beings. 7 to the Xenos, great guns and claws. And 9 codexes were gifted to the race of men, who above all else desire power. For within these codexes was bound the strength and will to govern each race. But they were all of them deceived. For another codex was made, in the land of Nottingham, in the fires of Warhammer World, the Dark Lord Foley forged in secret a set of supplements to control all others. And into these supplements he poured his cruelty, his malice, and his will to dominate all life. One faction to rule them all.
This should do.